Hi, I'm Rick Rotundi with CMAX Media here at Catholic Marketing Network Momentum 2022. And I'm thrilled to be here with Nermine.
Thank you.
Yes.
So glad to be here.
Yes. And it's Nermine?
It's Nermine Khouzam Rubin.
Yes. With Water for Mercy, right?
Yes, I founded Water for Mercy,
Yes.
and I'm the CEO of Water for Mercy. Yes.
Well, it's wonderful for you to be here and tell us about Water for Mercy and the amazing work that you're doing in Africa.
Okay, well, I want to bring it all back to the heart because it's all about the heart of God, the heart of Jesus through his mother that touched my heart to do something when I did my Marian consecration. Wow. So I am originally from Egypt, and when my daughter was 8 years old, ever since she was 8 years old, every year, Mom, I want to go to Africa and volunteer with the orphans. And I'm like, are you kidding? I'm from Africa. I've seen poverty. I don't want to go. So every year, like clockwork, well, now she's 16, and it was the year I was doing my Marian consecration. I did 33 Days to Morning Glory, which was Father Gately with the Marian Fathers. And I'll never forget, it was day 4. She asked me again, and I heard myself say yes. Somehow I couldn't believe it, and the heart touched me. And fast forward, a long fast forward, and then I went to Africa, and slowly my eyes were opened as to something needed to be done. And I remember Father Gately kept saying, ask the Blessed Virgin Mary to be gentle with you. Well, let me tell you, the first time I went, she was gentle, but the second time I went, oh my gosh, the Holy Spirit kicked me in the butt that I needed to do something. And that's when I founded Water for Mercy. And now truly I say it is God. It is God's love through his mother, through the heart, that now their love is flowing as clean water to make all of Africa green. And you know, here in the U.S., green is money, green is growth. And now, like, again, I say God does not call the equipped. He equips the called.
Yes.
When I said, yes, I'm going to found Water for Mercy, wow, God, like he set up for me to work with the rock stars of the world. I now work with the best solar water company in the entire world.
Wow.
Happens to be a non-governmental organization from Israel called Innovation Africa. We bring in water, and I have to tell you, these people are in these areas where they are walking 4 hours a day. Some of them don't have water to drink. They'll drink the blood of animals just to not die. And then when they find water, it's not fit to give to your bird. I mean, I'm telling you, it's gross. It's gross. And when you see them, do you know that more people die from water-related, more children die from cholera, from all of these waterborne diseases than they do from anything else because they're drinking bad water.
Really?
So anyway, so when we bring in water, and this is a permanent technology, and this is what I love about it, because I've learned in my previous giving, I didn't research enough. I didn't realize that sometimes when you give, you breed dependency. And that's what I saw. I saw that there's many good intentions, but the result or the unforeseen circumstances is that breeding dependency. And that's kind of how I learned. And the Blessed Virgin Mary and the Holy Spirit kicked me in the butt because I was supporting an organization. And what I learned is I was breeding dependency. And when I saw what I saw when the Holy Spirit kicked me in the butt is what I saw, there was a bunch of lazy men sitting around on their butts, making their wives and children walk for 5 hours a day, back and forth.
It's impossible to believe, fathom, isn't it?
I was incensed. The hair on the back of my neck stood up, and I'm like, these men are lazy. They're deadbeats. Oh my gosh, get them back to work. Everybody laughed at me. They're like, are you kidding? That's Africa. The men don't work. Well, I thought they were lazy. I came back. I was in front of the Blessed Sacrament every day, praying, and I researched. You know, I have my MBA, I have my master's in hospital administration, or health science, actually. So I knew I wanted to do something to get these men back to work, give them an incentive. Well, they live 4 or 5 hours away from anything. What am I going to do? Teach them to be a mechanic or a plumber? There's nothing out there. There's nothing to fix or plumb. What I learned is that they were waiting for the rain. They're all farmers.
Really? Okay.
And then when they finally got rain, they were taught these unsustainable methods that
for agriculture, or
for agriculture, for farming, that one season, nothing. The next season, nothing. After 10, 12 seasons, guess what? I'd be drinking and smoking too, and numbing myself. So when I really researched, oh my gosh, truly, I learned, first of all, they need water.
Right.
Water.
They
Number
need
one.
wells. They need wells.
Clean water.
Yes.
And we drill 450 feet down to access water. And then we work with the villagers, because what I've also seen is that you don't want to breed dependency.
Right.
You don't want to give this to them. You want them to work for
Right.
it. These people, men, women, they're building the trenches. They're deciding where are the different distribution points where 2 taps are going to be out there. We have like 12 distribution points, 24 taps. They all decide as a community who's going to guard the tower at night, where's the trough for the animals going to do, how much are we going to charge for water?
Right.
You might be a widower, you have 7 kids, you know what, you're poor, we're going to charge you a penny of water. Well, but guess what, Joe is wealthier and his family, we're going to charge them 10 cents a bucket. Regardless, they know the community. They make the decisions.
Yes.
When I go there, they're proud. They've got their ledgers. They collected this. And if something breaks, and this is the beauty of the chosen people, the technology, okay?
Because you're getting it from Israel, yes.
From Israel, okay, yes. We have a remote monitoring system through Innovation Africa. It's the United Nations have given all these awards because what I've seen, again, when something breaks, you think they know how to fix it, number one, and then if they don't know how, they need to hire someone to fix it. They can't afford that. So a lot of things break. And then guess what? You end up with rubbish.
Right.
And it ends up with junk. And then nothing works. So what we do with Innovation Africa, we not only teach them how to fix things, we have a remote monitoring system. So if something breaks, we know about it before they do.
Wow.
And a lot of times, of course, we're there within 2 hours with our boots on the ground to help them fix it.
Right. So a lot of charities would just go in and dig a well and that's it, and they're out. But you're really helping them set up a water utility, aren't you?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and they're making the decisions. They're setting the rates.
Yeah. We're empowering them.
Yes.
And I want to say we got a 501c3, guess what? On March 19th, the feast day of St. Joseph.
What a great patron.
The man.
Yes.
The patron saint of dignity, worker. I'm telling you. It's all about work. So I want to say, water's number one.
Yes.
Then when we see they're good stewards of the water, and I have to tell you, these distribution points I told you about, you dribble. There's always a dribble of water.
Yes.
What we see, wow, garden here, a garden here. They're growing tomatoes. They're growing cucumbers. Okay, they're motivated. After a few months, we see this. They're motivated. So now we bring in technology for agriculture from Israel, and you're talking about we start from the soil. We bring in new nutrients for the soil, good seeds, and drip irrigation. Drip irrigation, for those of you who don't know, drip irrigation, if you can picture like a hose that has little tiny pinpricks.
Yes.
And they are placed exactly where the root of the seeds or the tree
Every
or the plant
stalk
goes.
is being watered. Yes.
Exactly. But it's not just only water. Through the drip irrigation, we could put in nutrients.
Oh, wow.
Do you know that we use pheromones as a natural pesticide? We now show them these methodologies. So now those tomato plants that they were used to only 20 tomatoes are now yielding 120 tomatoes.
Wow.
And they're nutritious. So now their families are eating. There is a terminology called eat the rainbow.
Yes.
I've learned that plants are like people. Okay? You give them too much, it's not good. You give them too little, they wither. They're not good. But you give them the optimal amount, they thrive. They're optimal. They're optimal. So now they're eating the rainbow. We're growing purple eggplants, red tomatoes for vitamin C. We are now eliminating childhood stunting, malnutrition, all of this
and the
by
farmers in
eating
these
the
communities
rainbow.
are doing it themselves. You're teaching them, and then they're carrying it forward. Yes,
amazing. And these guys that I thought were deadbeats, guess what? They are up at 5 in the morning.
Wow.
And incentives work.
Yes.
Like, I know when my kids would say, "It's not fair. She got an A and I didn't." I go, "Well, guess what? The harder you work, the luckier you get." Right? These guys are getting up at 5 in the morning. They're working. Holy cow! Unbelievable. So then, my MBA brain went to work. I saw. And it's not my brain. It is God planting these seeds through Mary. I went to Israel.
Yes.
And when I saw this, I saw what could be made with money. Money. Okay?
Yes.
And all I thought is, okay, wow, look at what these guys are doing. We now need to do this on a bigger scale to then empower them to teach this on a larger scale. So through a mother's beautiful family that she put in heaven, or she put together for us, we now have partnered with also Don Bosco Technical Institutes of Africa.
Yes.
Okay, I've learned about Don Bosco. I know you know him, he's a saint.
Yes.
But they have these technical institutes, which are TVETs, that stands for Technical Vocational Educational Training Center. And just to tell you about Don Bosco, I know you know him as a saint.
I do. He's a great saint. Yes.
Amazing. Well, I didn't realize that the history of the institute and him. He was ministering to these boys. At the time, there's only boys who went to school, but they were boys who got kicked out of school.
Right.
And he saw them begging.
Right.
Begging.
Much for a livelihood and get them.
Right.
Yes.
And he hated that because they should be working. So guess what he did? He saw that these boys may not be smart. They were kicked out of school. They were kicked out of school.
Right.
And you know, back then there wasn't dyslexia or ADD diagnosis.
No.
They were just hoodlums, troublemakers, couldn't pay attention in school, kicked out. So what he saw is, you know what? They may not be smart enough to be a doctor and pay attention, but they could learn a trade to make money, to have dignity as a person of God, what he sends. So what's the first thing he did? He's got a printing press. Taught these boys, at the time just boys, to work this printing press, how to oil it, fix it, oil it, go out there and print stuff for companies to make money. Guess what? Then they got the second printing press, the third, the fourth, to make money and grow.
Self-funding.